What's up? It's Robert Fithin, and back in the 90s, I used to go to a lot of record conventions and record stores with my roommate, who I also worked with, and then before that went to college with. Now, we would go to these things, and we wouldn't get albums the same because, we lived together, so we just figured, well, I'm not going to get the same albums he's getting, he's not going to get the same ones I'm getting. So he would get a lot of, like, metal and punk stuff, and I would get a lot of classic rock and some psychedelic stuff. That's just kind of the way it always worked out. Now, he was getting stuff like the Ramones and the Clash and Anthrax, Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, all that kind of stuff, rare punk, 45s and stuff like that. And I was thinking, I remember my mentality at the time was like, yeah, that's cool, but that stuff's all on CD. It's not really that rare. I'm going to get like rare classic rock, real collectible records. I wanted to hear these records. I wanted to like the, I liked some of the bands or whatever. I didn't get them just to collect them. But I thought, man, for years from now, this is what people are going to be wanting. These rare classic rock albums that were never on CD or whatever. Nobody's going to want like original Ramones and Iron Maiden and stuff. That's all too common, right? That's this dude's whole collection now. The stuff everybody wants, right? He's got it all. And don't look for him in the vinyl community. He does not make videos. He's out there walking out the door with original pressings of Black Sabbath. I'm walking out with Sweetwater. Yeah, I thought this band was going to be something. They were supposed to open up Woodstock. They got caught in traffic. They had to play later. They're still the first full band to play the Woodstock Festival in 1969. But they're Sweetwater. You can see somebody loved this. It's got a lot of ring wear. Fronted by a woman named what is her name? Nancy Nevins. She unfortunately was in a car accident and continued this band's streak of bad luck. But yeah, rare, but it turns out no one cares. So, that's why I named this video Rare, but who cares, right? Almost Famous, the soundtrack, the Stillwater band that's kind of like somewhat based on Sweetwater a little bit. This was out for a long time. I got an original pressing of this big. Then it got re-released, and now Rare, but no one cares. Basically just a collection of classic rock songs. Cat Mother. What a great looking cover this is. Nice boogie band from California there. Cat Mother. He's walking out the door with a 7-inch of the Dicks Hate the Police and some Mud Honey thing that no one's ever heard of. It's probably worth $1,000 now. I got Cat Mother, people. Cat Mother. Jimi Hendrix produced their first album. This is not their first album. Decent music though, but yeah, no one cares. And certainly nobody cares about Cat. This from Canada. Hey, it's still in the shrink, though. No one cares. Canada, Canada, Canada. Usually when a band is from Canada, I like to know, like, what part of Canada, because it's an entire country. This thing just says Canada, like, 8 times on the back on this little blurb. It never mentions, like, where in the country they're from. They got a couple of nice tracks on here. Decent, I guess. Really rare, only one pressing. Yeah, nobody cares about Cat. Come on now. Three Dog Night originally released Hard Labor with out this big Band-Aid on it. What's it covering up? My God, it's pretty rare to find the one without the Band-Aid, but here it is. They're covering up a monster, giving birth to a record. Great album, by the way, from Three Dog Night. I had this, for a long time before I even realized it was some uncensored version, and great stuff on here. The show must go on, kind of like the circus of rock music, complete with Barnum and Bailey music. All kinds of great tracks on here. Play something sweet. Brickyard Blues, probably my favorite. But yeah, it's rare cover that doesn't have the Band-Aid. No one cares. Frigid Pink. This is one of the first psychedelic albums I got. And I'm like, wow, these are the guys that had that remake of The House of the Rising Sun. I wonder what the rest of this sounds like. So rare. I love having an original album from the 60s psychedelic era. Like I said, it was the 90s. This is one of the first ones like this I got. Turns out everybody's got this. Who the hell has psychedelic music and doesn't have Frigid Pink? I don't even think it's rare. Who cares? House of the Rising Sun's decent. I never understood these American International releases. The movies, American International, they had all those cheap drive-in movies from the 60s and 70s. And some of these great soundtracks that you think people would be like all about, right? Like Psych Out and Wild Angels. But yeah, no one cares really. It's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. It's got the Seeds on it. It's got Strawberry Alarm Clock. No one cares. Willie Nelson, Red-Headed Stranger, if you get the first pressing of this, you get it with the miscredit on the label there. The writing is miscredit. That's how you know it's a first pressing. But turns out most people don't really care if it's a first pressing or not. They just want the album, which, it's 80s CBS vinyl that you got to stay away from. So you definitely want to get a 70s version of this. But yeah, no one really cares that Willie and Merle teamed up for Pancho and Lefty, and original pressings of this have Pancho spelled incorrectly, like the thing you wear instead of the name, also spelled incorrectly on the back as well. But yeah, who cares? Richie Valens, you would think the first pressing of this would be like incredible. You'd think this would be one of those things up on the wall that you got to get assistants to even look at. No, I found this in the $5 bin, and I've seen it in other $5 bins. Turns out this legendary guy who was in the plane crash with the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly, awesome album. It has La Bamba, Donna. Come on, let's go. It turns out no a lot of people care. Not that big of a deal. Kiss My Ass. You know, usually these Kiss collectibles, everybody goes crazy for Kiss, right? I already had all my Kiss albums when I was a little kid, so I didn't have to really worry about going around and collecting new ones. But I'm glad I had this vinyl. You know, it has a track that's not even on the CD. It has all these people remaking Kiss songs. It has, Gin Blossoms doing Christine 16, Toad the Wet Sprocket does Rock and Roll All Night. You got Shawnee's Addiction, a Tool offshoot doing Calling Dr. Love, which turns out to be like the best song on here. Lenny Kravitz does Deuce. It's on red vinyl. It's got Anthrax doing She. Garth Brooks does Hard Luck Woman. Turns out this isn't very good at all. Kind of sucks. The artwork, besides the cover, the artwork on like the inside is pretty terrible, as well as the back. And pretty much no one's impressed by that. I thought they would be. How about Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors? This is one of the first collectible records I ever had. I was so proud of it, I put it in a frame. That's why I still have it on a frame on the wall. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors with the Flames, the original pressing. Man, this was such a collectible record. I love it. Man, I have it. Wow, incredible. Woo! Yeah, all the re-releases have the Flames. Nobody cares about that Leonard Skinner Flame thing anymore. It's too bad. Uriah Heep. No one cares about Uriah Heep. Steve Miller Band, Rock Love. Again, my roommate, walking out of the record conventions with all kinds of cool, rare punk stuff. Talking about stuff from like the Angry Samoans and the original pressing of a Damned thing, or, any of that. He had it while I was going, ooh, Steve Miller Band, Rock Love. Now, I've never seen this album before. This is rare. This is going to be coveted. Everybody's going to want this, and I'm going to have it in 20 or 30 years. Yeah. We had no idea about the vinyl resurgence that was coming up or anything like that. But yep, he's got the Damned 7-inch. I've got Steve Miller Band, Rock Love. Nobody cares. Tiny Tim, cultural icon, kind of a funny, kind of quirky dude that used to show up on shows like the Smothers Brothers a little bit before my time. So I thought this would be one of those quirky, like novelty things that everybody was all about trying to find. Oh my God, I got the Tiny Tim. I think I paid $1 for this. It's still worth about $1. Roseanne Cash, 7-Year Ache. Very first pressings of this from one plant come with a little note on the dead wax there that says, "We'll miss you, John." That's because it was pressed just a few days after John Lennon was assassinated. Now, you think Beatles fans care about anything with John Lennon or the Beatles on it, but yeah, nobody cares about Roseanne Cash first pressing a 7-Year Ache with the little note to John Lennon on there. Elton John early stuff goes for some big prices, especially when he really starts to get popular with double albums like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. You're not going to find that cheap. But you'll find this cheap. And I don't know why. It's pretty rare. It's a obscure movie called Friends, and it's Elton John and Bernie Taupin teaming up for some songs that are pretty rare. Rare, but who cares? Not a lot of people care about that. Oh, what about things like this? Here's the other side of it. Got this for 25 cents. Now, I've seen this record but trying to be sold for upwards of $75. Fleetwood Mac, Rumor, and look, mine's got the insert, the little fold-out pamphlet here. Look at that, in great condition. Oh, wow. 25 cents I paid for this. This thing has sold millions and millions of copies. Not rare, but it seems like everybody cares. Here's another one, Michael Jackson Thriller. People stumble upon this, they're like, oh my God, I found my grail. Michael Jackson Thriller. Maybe if you find it without the Michael Jackson co-producing credit, then you know you've got a first pressing. If there's no co-produced by, like this one is not. So it says co-produced by Michael Jackson. If it doesn't have that, it's a first pressing. Which still, first pressings, I mean, they sold out. This is the top selling album of all time, people. This is not rare. Not rare, but people act like they've really discovered something when they find Michael Jackson. Here we go. Censored album covers, uncensored album covers. I'll get this because this is a rare first pressing that was later censored. Here's Mom's Apple Pie from 1972. I believe these guys are from Ohio. A 10-piece, as you can tell. They got a lot of horns and stuff going on. They also got this album cover with Mom here. She's got an apple pie with looks like a vagina there. That's why it was censored. And she's just licking her lips and the thing's dripping off there. Yeah, they censored that. They put like a bunch of barbed wire around the pie. You got police looking in the windows here. She's frowning now. She's crying. It's sad. Mom's Apple Pie. I always thought this was kind of weird anyway. I mean, I get that you're a rock band, so you want to have some vaginal reference, but the thing about it is it's Mom's Apple Pie. That's supposed to be mom. Oh, that's not sexy. If you're that's yeah. Produced by Terry Knight, so it kind of sounds like Grand Funk Railroad meets a Blood, Sweat, and Tears or something like that. But yeah, Mom's Apple. I don't want to think about Mom's Apple Pie. You know, what about a half-speed master? Those are pretty coveted when CBS would do those half-speed masters back in the 70s and early 80s. Which one do I have? Ooh, the one everybody wants. Billy Joel, An Innocent Man. Half-speed master. What? Yeah, nobody cares. Buffalo Springfield came out with an incredible double album compilation in 1973, which is pretty much an excellent way to listen to these guys. You'd think something like this kind of rare would be coveted because it's got a few special mixes on there, including a great version of Bluebird that turns out to be over 9 minutes long. It's a completely different mix on it. So kind of rare stuff going on here on this Buffalo Springfield, yet two. Not only the number of records in this, but the number of shits that people couldn't give about this compilation. You get that for like $5. Elvis Presley. You got to be careful about this guy. You got a grandmother or an aunt or something like that thinks her Elvis records are worth $100 each. They better say something like new or phonic on them if they're going to be worth anything. They got to be the really old ones, or they got to be autographed, or they got to be something special. They can't just be Elvis Presley albums. Yeah, I know. Yes, right. Your crazy aunt has the Moody Blue, but wait a minute. Hers is blue vinyl, though. They're all blue vinyl. Nobody cares about a blue vinyl Moody Blues. Nobody cares about you Pickwick Elvis. I've seen Pickwick Elvis trying to go for like $60. Come on now. Here's what I thought one time was a rarity. Turns out to be, no one cares because it's not even a rarity. I went to Canada. I've been to Canada a few times, but the first time I went to a record store and I bought this, and I wasn't really familiar with the song Hold On Tight, even though it was a single. It has a part where they start speaking in French in it, and I thought, My Electric Light Orchestra is a special version from Canada that's got a French part in it. Nice! I've got a really rare Canadian pressing of this that actually is bilingual. No, the French is in every version of Hold On Tight. It's how the song goes. That's not rare, and no one cares. And wrapping it up with a band that was mentioned in the New Riders of the Purple Sage songs, Joy of Cooking. Not on CD at the time. Thought it was going to be super rare. You got a thing in here with lyrics and everything, so it's got that insert. We're ready to go. Awesome. This should be super cool. You can find this for like $2 because nobody cares about the joy of cooking. So there's some examples of rare, but who cares? I just bought so much of that stuff at record conventions thinking I was going to be so cool. Here's my unassuming roommate thumbing through stuff, buying stuff. That's on CD. Nobody's going to want that. Original Ramones, Black Sabbath, all the Pink Floyd original vinyl, U.S. pressings, but still original stuff. He's walking out the door with all that. I'm thinking, please, that stuff is so common. Nobody's going to care about that. Cat Mother and the Joy of Cooking. That's what people want. I'm Robert Fifth, and thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you have not done that so you don't miss any videos. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed, and thank you to everyone who's been commenting. I've been trying to comment on more videos. Thanks to everybody in the vinyl community who makes the great videos that always keep me entertained, especially at like 2 o'clock in the morning when there's nothing else going on. Love watching the vinyl community videos. Please consider liking this one if you liked it, and thanks again for watching.